Coming off of an all-time upset last year when Purdue lost to Fairleigh Dickinson, Purdue went out, dominated in the regular season, dominated the Big Ten, and here they are in the Final Four. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about Purdue, some of their players, and what to expect from them in the Final Four and potentially the championship game. You can't start any conversation about Purdue without starting with Zach Edey. Edey is a 7'4" center, been with Purdue for a long time, and very well might win another Player of the Year award after averaging 25 points and 12 rebounds this season. As you'd expect from somebody who's 7'4", Edey's getting a lot of his touches in the post, where he'll either attract a double team or go one-on-one against the opposing team's post defender, which doesn't always work out too well. Edey has a lot of gravity to him, so teams will typically load up to him, prevent him from getting the ball. The only issue is Purdue has a lot of really good shooters. They're the #1 team this year in three-point percentage. They have really efficient shooters from the outside. So if you try to double team Edey, you're sacrificing open threes for some of the nation's best shooters. Because of the presence of Edey, he gets a lot of blocks if you try to challenge him at the rim. So Purdue will mostly play drop coverage where they keep him close to the rim and have the defender who's getting screened go over the screen and funnel any ball handler to Edey in the paint, where he's going to contest any and all layups or shots at the rim. Purdue is also led by Braden Smith, who is a sophomore. Smith is one of the best young guards in the country. He shoots 44% from three and will often get into ball screens with Edey and attack opposing teams' drop coverage by getting into the paint and getting easy access to the rim, with the screener's defender typically being too attracted to Edey, leaving way for layups for Braden Smith. He's also a very elite shooter off the dribble. He'll typically get into ball screens, and if you go under, he's shooting it almost every time. He honestly plays a lot like NBA guards do nowadays, where if you go under screens, they're just going to make you pay all night, but if you go over, they're just getting to the rim super easy and super quick. That's another reason why Purdue's very hard to guard, because you're not just guarding Edey, you're guarding Braden Smith, who can also find shooters for Purdue if your defense gets in rotation. Fletcher Loyer is the other player for Purdue who is an absolute sniper from outside. Him along with Mason Gillis shoot over 40% from three. Loyer provides a little bit of opportunities in transition for Purdue. Off of misses, they can get out and run, and he'll sprint to the three-point line and get transition threes early. Lance Jones is a senior for Purdue. He recently just transferred over from Southern Illinois, and while he's not the shooter that Smith and Loyer and Mason Gillis are, he can get hot, and he also can attack closeouts really well. So when Purdue gets out in transition, they'll usually have him be the trigger man, getting down the court, looking for outlet passes and looking to finish at the rim. But then also, even in half-court settings, Purdue will look to get him working off of off-ball screens and get down to the paint on easy drives. Purdue also plays Trey Kaufman-Renn, who is another post player for them. Very high-energy guy. He's 6'9" and gets a lot of offensive rebounds. So even if you've defended everything correctly with Loyer and these shooters, contained Braden Smith on ball screens a little bit, you've helped on Edey to make it hard for him in the post, you still have another good post player in Kaufman-Renn who usually benefits from Edey attracting so much attention. Like I mentioned earlier, Purdue likes to play a lot of inside-out game, throw the ball into Edey. If nothing's there, get it out to one of your guards. And then really everybody outside of Edey is going to be setting off-ball screens for each other and try to get downhill as best they can and just kick out to shooters on simple dribble drive offense, which makes them really hard to guard. Some teams will double and allow these shooters just to get open looks or relatively clean looks. Others will do the opposite, and they'll say, let's have Edey just beat us one-on-one, which is what Tennessee did for some possessions in their Elite Eight game. But because of Edey's size, he just is getting pretty clean looks most of the time, right on the block. I still ultimately think this is the best way to defend Edey. You don't want these other shooters to go off, but Edey's getting a lot of opportunities for high quality looks at the rim. I don't know how far Purdue's going to go. I think they'll get to the championship game. They should make easy work of NC State, but whether it's Connecticut or Alabama, I do feel like they're in a little bit of an uphill battle against other teams. Edey is really good. Smith is really good. I do really worry about their defense because they just haven't been very elite, with most of their players outside of Edey being subpar defenders. And they haven't really played great teams going into this Final Four. It wouldn't surprise me at all if NC State makes this a game for a little bit, but Purdue should be able to win. All that being said, Purdue's a very good team. I think they're maximizing their talent that they have. And who knows, maybe they'll pull a Virginia from 2019 and win after losing to a 16 seed.